another video, and today we're featuring another episode of our Cheap and Cheerful series. Always seems to be a popular series. So we're going to have 3 nice new wines to taste today, and as you know, the rules, under 30 bucks including taxes. I'm in Canada, for those of you who aren't, so I'm talking Canadian dollars, obviously. And right off the bat, we're starting with one that, you see I already drank half of it, because my wife blind tasted me on this last night. I didn't get it. We'll get into that in a minute. This is 2019 The Musician by Maia Family Vineyards, I think is the full name of the winery, from the Coonawarra region of Australia. Now, I first tasted this wine, I believe it was 5 years ago at the Vancouver International Wine Festival, maybe 4, but I think 5. And of course, if you've ever been to those amazing festivals, a lot of the principals, the owners, the winemakers, and that come out. In fact, it was one of the rules that if you were going to have a booth there, you had to send a principal. I'm not sure if that's, I know during COVID that wasn't the case, and I'm not sure if they brought that back or not for future festivals, I'm not sure. Anyway, this wine had a real special meaning to the owner who was there. Lovely man. I remember getting emotional thinking about it, because the musician was his son who took his own life, and if you look at the bottle, you'll notice that there's a silhouette of him on the bottle, and he got emotional telling us that story. So I think he was a guitar player, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he was a guitar player. You can see that in the bottle. Anyway, and it's a fairly priced wine, and I remember liking it at the time. And when my wife opened this for me tonight, I didn't get it, and I should have, because it's kind of a classic, I think. Although, I'll tell you, I'll see if it's interesting. A day later, and it's been open, let's see if it changed a little bit. So the reason I didn't go to Shiraz at all, it's a Cab Shiraz blend, and I believe it's about 50-50-ish. I'm not sure what it says exactly. But I certainly had a lot of Australian Shiraz. But one thing I always get about it, it's very oaky and very fruit forward and very, definite vanilla and chocolate notes and that, which this has got. But I don't get here's a lot of black pepper, or pepper at all. So I kind of eliminated Shiraz from my thinking. But yeah, it smells about the same as it did yesterday. A tremendous amount of black licorice too. Yeah, it's still a lot of dark chocolate, a lot of vanilla, black licorice, black plum, a little bit of like a tart red cherry showing up there too. Let's see if it tastes the same. Yeah, as I think about it, this has been open 2 days. It was 2 days ago that she blind tasted me on this, and I had another glass of it last night, which was still good. Yeah, so, it's a screw cap. It's just been screwed and just sitting on the counter for 2 days. Day and a half anyway. So there's a little bit of black fruit there, but it's very chocolatey, very licoricey, very vanilla-y. Vanilla-y? Is that a word? It is now. It's a good wine. I like it. I guess it's a very classic Coonawarra Cab blend. I still don't get much of the pepper that I would expect from. I'm also more familiar with Barossa Valley wines than I am from Coonawarra. But still, I like it a lot. One more sip here. Nice wine, good for the price. Really gonna go well with big bold meats, barbecue, that kind of thing. Barbecue. I didn't talk about this in my last video, or the one before that. We went to a party and they had barbecue. They were serving barbecue. And I thought about it, what is barbecue exactly? Where are you that you're having barbecue? If you're in the United States and you go to Texas, for example, and you tell me like Memphis barbecue, they're pretty likely to burn down Graceland. I was watching football last night, and they were talking about barbecue from Kansas City, St. Louis. Like, these places all have one of them, and I can't remember which one it is. Leave me a comment if you know a lot about barbecue in the States. One of them is very vinegar based. Their sauces are very vinegar based, and of course a lot of them are ketchup based and all that. But the barbecue sauces around the United States are completely different. So when you say, I'm having barbecue tonight, it doesn't really mean much to me. It doesn't mean much to anybody, really. I mean, here in Canada, we eat barbecue here, but what kind of barbecue is it? Is it like a mishmash of other barbecues? I mean, the one that I heard described to me with really vinegary sauces, I don't think that we have any of that here. And I think that might have been St. Louis, Missouri type of thing, maybe Kansas. But I mean, if you go down to Louisiana and tell them how much you like Texas barbecue, they may throw you to the crocodiles. So yeah, that's a really nice wine. I like that. I would buy that again. 2019. Now it's in the BC liquor stores right now, I think. I'd give that about 87.5 points, and I'll give it half a point for the ugly story. So 88 points for that wine. Really nice. I like that quite a bit. That's one I would get again, kind of keep in here for a night where I'm having something big and bold and barbecue-y, I guess. All right, let's see what's next. Okay, bottle number 2, we're going to California. We're going to California for a wine I've never seen or heard of or tasted before. It's T&T Chardonnay from the Lodi region. It's quite often called Lodi in the Delta. And I believe the winery is Oak Ridge Winery. And I say that only because on the back here it says oakridgewinery.com. So I assume that T&T is just a brand name of theirs. It's one of those fairly cheap wine, and it was under 20 bucks BC liquor store. It's obviously one of those that's marketed to people who would be impressed with funny. On the back it says, so T&T Chardonnay, for enjoyment only, not to be used for general blasting or detonation. So, good to know. Don't try to light your Chardonnay on fire, I guess is the message they're getting with. I don't know. Anyway, let's say gluten-free and vegan-friendly, for those of you to whom that is important. So let's see what we got here. Oh, that's a nice nose. It smells oaky. I haven't done a ton of research on this wine. My impression was that it was probably not oaked, but I could be wrong about that, and it certainly smells like I'm wrong about it. It's like a red apple and pear, and oh yeah, there's some buttery qualities there and some nutty qualities. Hazelnut. Toasted almond. A little bit of vanilla. It's not in your face oak. It's definitely there. All right, let's see how it tastes. Oh wow, that's good. It says an immersive fruit-forward profile that packs a punch. Yeah, I like that. That is very fruit-forward. A lot of pear, a lot of apple. Grapefruit. It's a pretty harmonious balance of tree fruit and citrus there, I would say. A little bit of vanilla. Not as buttery on the palate as it was in the nose. Medium finish. But yeah, it's... Yeah, for the money, I think it was $18.50 pre-tax. And I don't recall ever having any Chardonnay from the Lodi region. Lodi and the Delta, I think, is the official name of the appellation there. I have had some wines from there, but I don't recall having any Chardonnay from there. I have to double check my notes and see if I'm wrong. This isn't bad at all. One more sip. There's just a hint of something that is just a little, is it woody quality maybe? Or not bad. It's good. It's good. I'm enjoying this. It's there's just something about it that stops you from wanting to give it a really big number. I apologize, I'm having trouble articulating exactly what it is that's preventing me from giving it a number that starts with a 9. Because most of this I really like, but there's just something ever so slightly off-putting. But not in a way I would say not buy it. One more. No, it's a well-balanced wine. Like I said, the flavors are well-balanced, the acidity's well-balanced. Maybe it's not quite acidic enough. A little less acid, which means a little more fruit forward, which is fine. But maybe a great Chardonnay, I want the acid to be a little bit higher. Not Sauv Blanc high, but a little higher than this. Anyway, this is a good wine. For $18.50, I'm pretty sure was the price of it. It's good, and it's nice to have something different. My first Chardonnay from Lodi, I'm sure. I scored that 88 points. That's a nice wine. So what are you talking about? $21 after taxes in BC. And as I've said before, I think BC is about the most expensive place in the world for wine. Well, maybe not the world, but certainly in Canada, and probably in the States too, for sure. So wherever you're watching this from, if you can find this wine, you're probably going to get it cheaper than that. Yeah, $18.50 plus tax would be 22-ish or something. So it meets the cheap and cheerful metric by quite a while. Yeah, and it's perfectly good. Nice, I'm glad I bought that. All right, let's see what's last. All right, bottle number 3, and we're going to the extreme of cheap and cheerful here. Well, cheap anyway. If it's cheerful, we'll find out in a minute. So 2022 Crisp Chardonnay, Good Natured is the brand. It's a Peller wine, Andrew Peller Limited. It is $15 normally, currently on sale for $14 at BC liquor store, so that's about as cheap as Chardonnay's going to get, I think. Decent Chardonnay anyway. Having said that, I shouldn't say it's decent yet, should I? I'm making a chicken dish tomorrow out of the BC liquor store's magazine, and it recommended this. There's a lot of wine in the dish, and also in the side dish, which is giving some carrots. So I'm going to use almost the entire bottle in the dish. So I didn't want to open one of my great bottles of wine, obviously, and put it all into the dish. It's one thing to put little wine in a dish, but the entire bottle. So I decided to buy a bottle of what they were recommending. Let's see, shall we? Oh, it's very fruity. It's apple, red apple, green apple, kiwi. Oh, something like a little bit of apricot there as well. No evidence of any oak at all. Tough to find any information on this when I went on Googled it. It's if I'm understanding what I'm reading, it's Peller, definitely Andrew Peller wine, and I think they have this in Ontario too, from the Niagara Peninsula. That's what I found first, and I thought, well, this can't be that. It literally says Okanagan Valley VQA on it. So I guess this Peller also exists back east, of course. So I think if they make this wine, this is obviously their entry-level wine, their entry-level line, Good Natured. All right, let's dive right in, shall we? Oh, really? See, opening this now is twofold. One, I get to include it on this video, and two, I want to make sure it wasn't so horrific that I didn't want to cook with it. That's TBD at this point. It tastes artificial. Some apple pear. I'm gonna give it a second because that's my first sip of wine of the day. Maybe it's me. So there's no evidence of oak on the palate either. I couldn't actually even find whether this was described as oaked or unoaked. There wasn't a whole lot of information on it that I could find. And I'd say that's for a reason, because how much work do you want to put into a wine like that? I think it's going to be just fine for what we're cooking for tomorrow. I think it'll be okay to cook with it. I would not drink this unless I hated myself. You know, some days you hate myself. No, I never hate myself that much. That is, it tastes cheap, it tastes artificial. There are some slightly pleasing appley flavors on it, but it's really just apple. There's a little bit of maybe like bio lemon there, tangerine, a little bit. Medium finish, and it's not a really pleasant finish either. Yeah, so I cannot recommend that to you at any price. I don't care how cheap it is. I don't understand why anybody would drink that. I would give that 75 points, which I'd consider about average, and that's the best I could say about it. If you are a person who watches these cheap and cheerful videos to really find some good value in a really inexpensive wine, you don't have to spend a lot of money on a bottle of wine, great. I'm happy to help you out with that. Don't drink that. You can do better for the same price. And if you spend like $2 more, you can do something a lot better. Anyway, all right. So I'm gonna go probably open something drinkable, or maybe wash my mouth out with soap. And yeah, wow. So I can't even. So anyway, thank you so much for watching the video. Please give it a like. If you haven't had this wine, leave a comment below. Let me know how you liked it. Maybe you like it more than I do. Anyway, until next time, drink great wine, not that. See you soon.